Hey everyone, it's Timid Falcon Knight, and welcome back to another episode of Road to 1K. Today's match is going to be this Tier 4 Fog match versus Zero Katana on Stalingrad. So, should be a relatively... I guess it's Stalingrad, like... I think I've gone over this several times before, but Stalingrad's basically your bread and butter fog map. On Tier 4, I think like Jess is the best pick probably, because it's big enough that she doesn't really need to worry about the infantry, about what could her infantry do day to day is the main draw. So, and then she's like, there's enough bases and stuff for her to just not have to worry too much about Battlecopters. Like, Battlecopters are kind of mid on this map, honestly. It doesn't have fucking vehicle data, but whatever. But yeah, this is Stalingrad. It's a very bread and butter, basic fog map. Pretty open, honestly, but... and... yeah, you've got your production centers in the corners here. You've got your HQs, which are within striking distance of your production center, so it's going to be pretty tough for your opponent to go and grab that. Usually, like... if your opponent's heading up on your HQ, breathing on your neck there, they've already taken the second comm tower, so you don't really need to worry about an HQ cap usually, especially considering that it's more of on your strong side. It's on your 2 base side, so you can always just pivot tanks over if your opponent tries to go for the HQ cap. It's something that I guess could be an issue against like Sammy, but then like you could always just have infantry to block there. So it's not really an HQ cap map, which is part of why I like it. You have to use pipe seams here as well. They're okay. Usually you end up blowing them. You can blow them open with like bombers or neo tanks when you eventually get from, like you just said, medium tank down this way. Pull it open, keep the medium tank going, and then send the next medium tank down this way, finish it off, right? Especially with Jess firepower. And then yeah, just a lot of stuff going on here. It's a very big map. It's a pretty high-ish income map for standard. It's got 54 totals, so that's 27k per turn, per player per turn. So that's like enough for a big unit every other turn, plus like a lot of tanks and battlecopters and stuff. Although battlecopters, like, they can be okay. It's just when you send them in, they're just gonna get killed by anti-air for sure. So I feel like this is more of a tank-based game. Yeah, well, it's just more of a tank-based game map than anything else, because it's just so open. So yeah, and then you're gonna be teching up pretty quickly as well to the bigger tanks, and then you also want recons, obviously, because it's fog. But we will get to that in a second here. So I'm gonna take a second to make sure this is all. Well, actually, this is pretty good. Yeah, well, it still has to do, because it's a big map. So let's go ahead and get started with the replay. So obviously going for your extra base, like right away. There we go. The fog is designed to be a bit slow, but whatever. Being really slow, what the hell? Yeah, I don't know what's up with Advancements by Web. I feel like it's been a bit slow lately. There we go, let's sped up a little bit. But yeah. So just moving in. My opponent's already going for a tank. They're not going to be able to chain it though. I feel like it's a bit premature for them to do that. But they're, like, it is a big map. They're going to be able to pressure me a little bit with it early on. Like, I'm actually going for it pretty early as well. It's just I'm going to be able to chain it because I have the income for that. No. whereas my opponent's not going to be able to chain it, so. But we will see how they do with the tank. They actually go for a recon this next turn, so tank, recon, tank, it looks like their build order is going to be. That's not like that bad, honestly. And yeah, well, I'm not exactly chaining the tanks here. But as long as I sort of keep them in this sort of generally the same area, it's not going to be like, we're not going to be too... Their firepower is going to be decently fine, basically. They'll be basically working together. So I go anti-air turn 3. Interesting. I mean, I'm playing against Jess, so I'm not sure if that's actually the move. On this map, it's generally pretty good to go tank, anti-air if you can. But against Jess, who's probably not going to build an anti-air. I mean, a battlecopter, and who's, like, if she does have a battlecopter out, it's, like, not the end of the world. You can just ignore it, probably, for a little bit. I'm not sure if the anti-air is actually the correct play here. But as you can see, already seeing that my opponent's got their comm tower, I'm going to have mine as well. So, where it's just going to be a tie-in firepower, but Jess does have enough firepower to wall break on cities, so so long as we have our tanks clumped together, we can line up some pretty good attacks with them here. Well, my opponent's actually going for the anti-air as well. Interesting. Okay. I actually went for the transport copter there. Oh, you know why? I think I was trying to save up for a higher level tank, maybe. Well, I'm not exactly sure. Okay, I think next turn I'm going to get a Neo tank, I think is the plan. So I don't really have much in this area to counter this attack, but this is my opponent's strong side. This is my strong side over here as well, so honestly, like, it's not gonna matter too much. And the other thing is my opponent hasn't really lined up her tank to cover their recon at all either, so I'm gonna be able to move in for 3 against the recon here with my tank. Take out the infantry from the forest there, so getting a little bit of work from my anti-air here. And I get the medium tank as well, okay. Medium tank, and actually base skip. But I think that's going to be worth it because my opponent does have their medium tank out as well at this point. Goes for the interrupt there. Because he can see the tank here, I don't think he's going to move in with his other tank here at this point. No, he's just leaving him on the comm tower for now. Which I actually can't see where he went. Well, I can sort of see where he went. That's why I moved in with the recon, was to be like, I know where you're at. That's... Honestly, I would... With Jess firepower, I'd kind of expect a little bit more than 4 HP damage. That's like the... It's like the worst roll ever. Let's see. Actually, it's not that bad of a roll. Considering... Okay. I figured 20% would maybe be a little bit better than that, but maybe I'm just overestimating it. Anyways, I'm able to just pivot down with my tanks at this point, so that'll be fine. Got my medium tank in here, doing some damage to there as well. But he's able to just move in for free against my infantry here because I've got nothing to back it up right now. So that's a big loss on my side here. Looks like he took out the infantry entirely there. Not exactly sure what happened there. Oh, you know what? I think, yeah, he moved in with the infantry first. That's what happened. Okay. So I'm gonna go to join cap here. I'm gonna get this next turn. He's got an he's got a battlecopter actually now, which is gonna be interesting, I guess. I'm moving in my medium tank to start dealing with his light vehicles in this area, so that'll be pretty important here in a second. Again, getting a nice little hit off with the anti-air. Getting another infantry killed with it. So, moves in there with the anti-air, moves in there with the tank. Then he pops turbocharge here. So he's able to move in with the medium tank, take it out. Move in with medium tank, take it out. Move in with the tank, and interrupt this cap, which is... that's not good at all, honestly, at this point. Because you can see here, I'm behind kind of considerably on income and unit count. Well, not income, but just unit value. For whatever reason. Well, it's mainly because I lost a bunch of vehicles there. Let's be real. But losing the anti-air is a pretty big deal, honestly. So, and I don't have the medium tanks or anything to really move in either at this point. At least not like super effectively. I'm able to make a bit of a pivot back here, but like the fact that he has 2 medium tanks in this area is going to be pretty bad for me. Cap there, move in as fast as I can with my other vehicles here, but like, yeah, so I've got another medium tank here. I think I'm just basically just medium tank spamming at this point, but my opponent is actually going for battlecopters, which is gonna screw me up here in a second here. And the bomber as well. It's not gonna be good for me. Because it's a Jess bomber. Well, I don't know. I feel like a Neo tank would probably be better. A better call here, especially considering that he has to base skip for the bomber. And like that's just Neo tanks do like a considerable amount of damage as well. So I think the Neo tank might have been a little bit better there, but like whatever. So they'd end up being fine here. And then just as infantry not doing anything at all here, which is really frustrating. But I take out his anti-air, take out his recon, take out his infantry there. And I've moved the tanking a little bit aggressively here. Considering there's 2 medium tanks in this area, that's not like the best idea. But I do have the medium tank in range, so like, in theory, if he doesn't put something on this city, I can move in with the medium tank and take it out from the city. But like, we're so close to the city that it's not going to end up mattering, I don't think. And I have base skip here for a battlecopter. Okay. Interesting. So my opponent's going to be able to just have free reign here. Take out the tank like that. He's got the battlecopter in here now as well, which is going to be super irritating, honestly. He's got a Neo tank now. No, I think he just recognizes the tank from last turn, building the bomber. The bomber will be very useful for him, because it's like going to punish me if I don't have an anti-air in the area, right? It's already like falling behind in a lot of things, so. But I do get the turbocharge pop here. I'm backing up my medium tank like that. Oh, you know what I built for the battlecopter was to deal with his battlecopter, but like an anti-air plus an infantry there would have been much better. I don't know why I went for the battlecopter. Health cap. Interesting. So he goes for the power pop here. He's gonna be able to take out a good amount of my stuff here, honestly. Like he's gonna do a lot to my medium tank. He's actually going to cut off my medium tank there with the battlecopter, which was super fucking irritating. Take out my medium tank there with his bomber. And Yeah, he almost takes out my medium tank here, but not quite. And as you can see here, my opponent's able to move in like pretty well here for quite a bit. And as you can see here, I'm just kind of just flailing at this point. My units are also very much just overextended, I think, at this point, because this is his strong side. He's going to be able to reinforce pretty quickly here. This I think I left the bomber within 2 turns range with the. Well, my medium tank I left within 2 turns of his bomber, which is irritating. So now I'm gonna have to respond to the bomber with the fighter here as well, which I don't really have the units to do that effectively. Like, this bomber's just gonna have free reign here for like a little while as well. He's just tearing apart my lines here at this point, because he has the unit count advantage here. So at like this point, he's just snowballing. So there's like no way that I could win at this point, especially considering I'm like at like a 10 unit deficit at the start of his turn. 100 something ish behind, but I don't know that because it's fog. So that's the one thing that is irritating about fog a lot of times. Is like you don't know where you stand exactly. Like you can always feel it. Like I'm ahead 3 properties, but like I'm behind so much in the unit count department that's not going to end up mattering too much here. As you can see here, he's actually able to take back one of the cities next turn as well. So we're going to be pretty even as well. It's not going to matter too much as far as that goes. So I got my fighter here. He did fall back with his bomber, which is going to be important for him. He sees my fighter now. So he does take a little bit of damage off of it with the anti-air there. And then he moves in like that with the fighter. He's not going to be able to cut off my fighter from taking out his bomber next turn. But, well, actually, maybe I'm not going to be able to do enough damage. But I do have the anti-air in the area as well. So we'll see what happens this turn. I'm moving with the recon first to see what I've got to deal with there. Move in like that with the medium tank, but I pop turbocharge, you know. I take that out, take that out. Honestly, what I should have done was take out the thing first. Well, actually, no, what I'm doing here is I'm getting a nice first strike with the medium tank. That's why I'm doing as I did there. Take out the anti-air. Well, I'll take it out with the infantry there. Got the rockets here. So I'm going to start trying to push back a little bit against his moving in here, but like Jess infantry isn't going to be able to do enough to like take back these properties or even keep them around for that much longer. I'm going to pivot down this way with the fighter as well. So my fighter's actually not ending up doing too much here. As you can see here, it's 30 units to 19, and it hasn't even built yet. So, as you can see, I'm just kind of royally screwed just because I took such a hit early on in the unit count department. So, I believe this infantry is probably dead. Let's see, should be dead. No, oh, okay, what happened was I saw with this guy and then I attacked with the other guy, okay. Got it. But yeah, I just don't have the unit presence in order to deal with any of this, so I'm just getting destroyed everywhere. He's moving in with his infantry very slowly, but like, yeah. He's able to just completely take everything out there. So I take out his infantry, got my Neo tank on the city there even, so it's pretty well protected at this point, honestly. But he's got another Neo tank in this area, you got a medium tank as well. Like, I just don't have the units at this point to deal with his shit. So he's got medium tanks everywhere as well. Battlecopters even too, because the more battlecopter he spams, the more of a unit count lead he's able to keep. Like he can spam battlecopter plus infantry pretty easily at this point. Like that, see? And then you can save up for a Neo tank next turn along with a couple more vehicles. That's like a decent build order in this map. I'm trying to take out as many of these units as I can, but like, as you can see here, I'm not able to put enough of a dent into him. It's the main issue here, so I just resigned. Because honestly, I should have resigned a little bit earlier, and if I had known how far behind I was that entire time, like I would have as well. But I think at this point, the only reason I resigned here was because he didn't manage to take back enough properties that I noticed that, oh, I'm definitely behind on income at this point. I feel like I've been behind in unit count as well, most of this match as well. So there's that. I think that my main mistake here was, I think I would have went a little bit too heavy on ones on my strong side here. And then the early anti-air, I feel was a little bit too early, especially against Jess as well. But especially when I set up this tank here, like I don't think I responded to it in the correct manner. Yeah, this wasn't that good of a move either. The the medium tank plus regular tank. If I had gone medium tank here, I could have seen that as well. Because that way I would have been at least able to move down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and then deal with these vehicles a little bit easier here. And you would have gone here a little bit faster as well, I think. He did move in like pretty aggressively with his tanks here as well on his strong side. Because he is moving in like almost like this is around the line where he's overextending, so he's like about to overextend with his tanks here. So he is able to cut off a lot of my stuff here, but I think like because he's managing to stay like on the boundary there, he's able to deal really effectively with like my infantry here, because I'm not able to reinforce it in this area effectively at all. I should have waited with my infantry for the tanks before trying to move in there. And then from that point on, like he just was able to take out my infantry and just steal a unit count lead that way, and then was able to snowball for the rest of the game. The other thing is, I think this 16. So I have 23, which is enough. It's barely enough for the tank plus the medium tank. Could have gotten just 3 tanks this turn, though. I think that would have been a little bit stronger, even though he does have the medium tank out at this point. Well, I don't know. I needed the medium tank at some point. It's just it's never I don't know, but it's never a good time to build it. On a map like this, you could consider going for a Neo tank straight away, just skipping the medium tanks. So what I could have done is, before we go with a medium tank here, this turn just build tank, infantry, then get Neo tank plus well, I don't know. I might not have had enough money for the Neo tank this turn either. Yeah. I think my opponent going for the Battlecopter was also a really good idea on his part, because he recognized that I wasn't really building any Battlecopters. So he was able to seize on that pretty well. He was able to actually just use it along with the conjunction with his medium tanks, which he had together as well, which helped him a lot. But having them this close together meant that he was sort of spacing out my medium tanks, and then like even a Jess battlecopter is still able to do like a decent chunk of damage to medium tanks here. Because like with turbocharge, he's got 2 battlecopters in range of this guy. That's 2 damage plus 3 damage even. That's a lot of damage still. You into that's the tank. There we go. So it is a bit of a roll there. I think maybe with luck damage. Well, actually, no, there wasn't any luck damage. Well, actually, no, there should have been a little bit of luck damage from this medium tank, so. But yeah, he was able to just overwhelm me by having his units in the correct spots. But the other thing is, like, I kind of had my tanks... There wasn't really a direction that I moved my tanks in, it looks like. So I just had them spaced out around in this area, and then instead of really taking advantage of the fact that I had a bit of a presence in this area with the tanks, I pivoted them down this way to try and deal with these tanks. But because this map is so big, can't really do that. What I should have done was just send the medium tank down this way to deal with it. And then that would have been fine. This base skip was dumb, though. Like, I should have just done anti-air infantry there. You really should only be building battlecopters, especially on, like, this map. But in general as well, you should only really be building battlecopters when you have enough money to afford them plus a bunch of infantry, because that way you're getting a unit count advantage. But if you're not doing that, you aren't getting that unit count advantage. The rockets also was a bad idea. I didn't do anything with them this entire game. Like, I don't know what the point of them was. If this map is just too big for them to really be able to do anything. Because it takes like forever for them to get to the front lines, either here or even here. That was a big investment that went nowhere. Although I was already like pretty far behind at that point. So yeah, that's honestly it for today. Yeah, this was honestly, I don't know about this match. I don't know what I was doing in this match. I feel like, especially recently, I've just been really bad in fog. So yeah, I feel like I've been just really bad in fog, mainly because I haven't been doing as many fog matches, I feel like. But I also feel like I'm being maybe a little bit too aggressive in my fog games, because if you go to what I have in week, like lost this fog game. Oh, I won that one, but that one was only because my opponent didn't even play it. Lost that one. Oh, I won that fog game. That one. Okay. Well, maybe it's a bit more of a draw than I would maybe say, but no, there's another one I lost. But it's also probably because I'm playing Sonya. And she's just bad even in fog, but whatever. I'm still gonna play Sonya, okay? She's my favorite CL for a reason. Anyways. That's it for today. Next week's match is going to be... I should definitely have it. Oh, here it is. It's going to be this Tier 2 fog match against Max. This goes pretty fast. So that'll be next week's one. You can look forward to that. It's actually going to be recorded a little bit earlier than I usually do. I usually record these like the Wednesday before they come out, but I'm going to be out of town for a little bit, so I'm going to be actually for like half a month. So I'm going to be putting these two. I'm going to be recording these two in the next day or so. And yeah. Also, I do have a bunch of tournament games that I still need to cast, but I'm not gonna have time for quite a little while to do those. What I do have a backlog of is my Fire Emblem Engageless playthrough that no one watches, but anyways, you're looking for something a little bit different, you might want to go ahead and click on that. I don't know. No one cares about it, so. But yeah, if you enjoyed this episode, go ahead and like and subscribe and all that other nonsense, and we'll see you in, I guess, a week for the next one. So, bye.